Video about an international scam artist named John David Infantino. That's this guy sitting right here. As you see, this is where the way I got involved in this is I'm a Baltimore area veteran. I had been in the Fort Howard VA hospital several times when it was open. It closed in 2002. Shortly after that, they started working with John Infantino. He was supposed to build a veterans-based community there, residential, little retail, so we'd have little stores down there, uh, and maybe some commercial space. Now, I'd hoped to be living there. In 2006, I think it was when well, we'll see all that later. Anyway, he signed a lease. He never did anything for the property. Okay. Now you see this picture here. This is where they held a groundbreaking ceremony down at the Fort Howard VA hospital grounds, which is out on North Point Peninsula. And when I was down there with my back injury and sitting in a wheelchair, you go out to the edge of the water, you can see the Chesapeake Bay Bridge straight down the Chesapeake Bay, and turn a little to the right, and you see the Key Bridge looking into Baltimore City. It's a beautiful place down there, and a wonderful place for veterans to have a community. Okay, ever since they closed it down, it's been sitting there pretty well rotting. Now, you can see here, I think this is the second in command with the VA, James Nicholson, there, Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Anyway, the reason that he did this kind of a thing in places all over the world. I spent over 1,000 hours gathering information about this, posting it online, organizing it, and I know what this guy is. I know what he does, and I know what he doesn't do. He has never finished any project, and he claims to have done a bunch of them. He also claims to be a property manager, asset manager at various VA facilities, and he's got websites declaring all of this. Now, he only lets his websites roll for so long, and then he knows it's a little hot on that thing. So then he takes that website off and creates a whole new website. And he got better and better as he went along. And then I started writing about him and putting all this stuff out and telling people just web search John Infantino, John David Infantino, John D. Infantino, and you can find information on him. So he started, of course, picking up on that because somebody like that, they've got to look online to see what people are writing about him because he's done ripped so many places off. He gets right in with the country's leaders. He's right there with the president. He's met three presidents of the United States while he's running his scams against the United States. He did it all over. There's several places were veterans facilities, former military facilities. I got the list of all that stuff. Now, the reason it concerns every American citizen is because he owes a lot. He wastes a lot of money. He owes a lot of money to a lot of governments and all. Now, what I could get on him, I just got what he did in Maryland for the most part, for the exact amounts, most of it for the money. If I web search other states and other countries, there's probably court cases in there against him too, and probably stuff against him. So we go here now. After the VA took the lease away from him, a little bit later, he sued the United States, saying that they shouldn't have taken the lease. And he said that he didn't have to follow the rules of Baltimore County Code, building code and all, which he did. So he sues the government. Now, this copy of this court case here is on several different websites. You can find it. You can find it. he just all right. So let me show you what's here. So this is he he was developing Fort Howard. You have to excuse me. I've had depression. I had 15 months ago. I had a head injury. Uh, it's hard for me to. You can see I get blocked, but you don't have to deal with that. You know, it's a disability. So Fort Howard Senior Housing Associates. That's Infantino. Okay. And this is his enhanced use lease. Enhanced use leases that are it's called a public-private partnership. It's public property, belongs to the United States. A private developer, they have a private developer come in and develop the property. The private developer is supposed to pay rent and all to the property, and they're supposed to maintain it a certain way. So we go down here to page 3. I'm just going to point out some stuff here. All right. The government counterclaim for Infantino owes $313,000, $313,328.45 for lease for rent on the Fort Howard property. No, he's never going to see that, and he's done this all around the world. He'll get in there. What he does, see, he's an investment scammer, and he gets people. He tells people he really used Fort Howard a lot, and he kept using it in his website, saying that he'd done a good job down there when he hadn't. He hadn't at all. He actually let the property rot. Never had the security down there, and the place got completely vandalized. Young people from all over, and I mean from other counties and all, came down and they were partying down there. They went all through the buildings. They trashed it. They busted out windows. I've got a whole photo album when I went down there in 2011. You'll see. I'll show you where that is later on in the video, and you'll see how the place was just rotten back then and torn apart by people down there. Just they thought it was abandoned property. They didn't go down there thinking, oh yeah, well, the hell with them veterans. You know, ain't nobody. You know, they thought it was abandoned property. They didn't think it was ever going to be used by anyone again, especially veterans. I mean, I hope that's what most of them thought, because they were young Americans. Now, I know that there were about all total there have been like 55, 60 arrests made down there, and it was mostly young men in their early 20s. And they'd go through there, and then you've got the spooky factor. It's an old hospital. It's all falling. It's So now let's see what. Well, that verifies that. So that's the 300 and whatever $1,000 he owes for rents. You can look at the whole thing later if you need to. I'm just going to show you one other thing here. We go down to page like 16. Up. Look it back up here. I'm just going to do as much as I can deal with here. All right, let me get back here. All right. Okay. So anyway, the VA finally, after nothing was done down there and it was all terrible. So here they started sending default notices in 2009. Okay. And there's some more money here, something. So he owes an electric bill. I forget. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. All right. Remit the full sum of $126,530. This amount represents the total amount of 5 electric utility bills that the VA previously issued to Fort Howard Senior Housing Associates from September 28th, 2006, and that would have been release started through November 6, 2007, and one bill issued on September 28th. Anyway, the total it's over $100,000 that he owes to Baltimore Gas and Electric. He don't pay it, then the VA's got to pay it. I need that money. I'm a veteran. There's a lot I need. So he failed to. Okay, so this is his second default notice telling him, and here's why he is breaching its obligations and responsibilities, because he failed to finance, develop, and maintain the property, failing to operate, manage, and maintain the property, failing to maintain and properly secure access, failing to pay rent, failing to maintain and repair property, failed to provide VA audited income statements, balance sheets, cash flow statements. Now, I don't understand why. I've contacted so many people about so many politicians around the world, media, and I told them they can go to the wherever he says he did something. He's supposed to have paid taxes. He's supposed to have applied for permits. He's supposed to have paid for building permits and all that kind of stuff. He doesn't do that. He just goes in there and pretends like it for a while, and he gets people to invest in him, what he's doing. He makes people think he's doing all these great things. I mean, he really goes, well, wait do you see what this guy does. And then uh, he'll have other people. Anyway, he borrows money. He gets money. He'll scam a couple $100,000 from a project and take off from it. Now, I first got that. That's an assistant to the president of Turkey was the first to clue me in on that, because I've contacted so many people about this guy. And so he managed and protected, failed to employ local designated for emergency management, and then let's see, no insurance. He didn't have the property insured. I mean, that's really bad, man. Because then that puts a lawsuit. It comes out of the Department of Veterans Affairs property, and there were kids all over there. There was one lawsuit against it. I've got information on that in my files. I don't know what that was about, but that might have been for this with the second developer. Anyway, you got all these young people going down there, and they're busting up stuff. One of them got hurt. There's videos on YouTube of young people on the roof of the hospital building through various times. Now, that's just the videos. Now, there's a lot. That means other kids were up on that roof before. 5-story building, and they're up on the roof, running around, having a good time. So let's get down here. Fail to maintain in good, clean, safe condition. Make timely repairs. Properly secure the property. VA is concerned for safety of veterans accessing the property and the protection of VA assets. But they weren't protected. They should have been suing this guy. Instead, this is him suing them. And the reason why he does these lawsuits, he's done other ones, right? I've got the information, copies of another lawsuit he did out west, and so that's so he could tell his investor scam victims. Oh yeah, the VA was wrong. They shouldn't have canceled my lease. So I took them to court. Now, or they're just he's going to say I took them to court, or I've got a court case against them. They're not going to go. Most people aren't going to go and dig up all these files like I did. The whole thing is him getting investment money that he never puts into the property. Okay. March 10th, 2009, a third default notice. And then 16th, what the, okay, where we at here? Security defaults. And the other default note. And these are the reasons given to, now this is the part of the thing where it says this is why we're canceling. Failure to pay rent is material. Failure to maintain the property, uh, failure to maintain insurance, failure to pay electric utilities. So it's just kind of repeating some of the other stuff. And the Fort Howard Senior Housing Associates is Infantino. If he had a company that built all these things, he's got a whole bunch of employees. There's no payroll taxes paid for any employees. The government, the local people, that can be figured out easy. Where's his employees? You know, he just does it by himself. Now he did have along the way he hired interns. Now some of them interns they were uh, volunteer free internships, probably hooked up with some school deal or something like that, where the young people were getting credit for going out in the world and getting a little work experience. But I've read where interns who worked for him, they were supposed to be paid, weren't paid, and it's unbelievable the number of people he says work there and the number of references he puts on his websites. It's just all lies. And he puts references for all. He says he's got in good with all these banks, all this. Man, I've got proof of it all. So let's see. I think hey, let's put this on hold. Let's repause this here. Infantino also rips off a lot of businesses, and what he does, he gets in there and he says, "All right, I'm going to be building this great. I got to get leased to this great property, because you got to have your startup materials, you got to have your brochures, you got to, legal stuff's got to be settled and all." And he never pays his legal fees. He doesn't pay for any work people do for him. So here's from a Maryland judiciary statement where he owes STB Incorporated. So that's Fort Howard Senior Housing Associates. So that's 987,957.65 for one thing. And now he often uses federal. All his first scams: federal development, federal Bulgaria, federal. Federal. He always puts federal in there. And that's just, that's to make people think, this guy's got something to do with the federal government of America or something. And so STV's like $1.5 million. I contact people like that. I say, hey, you want to help me? Let's get Infantino for doing this. We need to, we need to tell the world you need to tell the world he ripped you off. He owes you a lot of money. But they just couldn't admit it. So you web search my screen name, Ursus Dave, URSUSDAVE, one word, lowercase. I don't even put it on a web address. I just do that. Now, on my Flickr site, here's what I have on the Fort Howard property. So I'm just going to show you just a little bit. So this is Fort Howard, damaged and rotting. These shots are from 2011. Fire there, but I think that first fire happened after he left. So there's the old hospital building, right? Nice grounds, beautiful place. Now these houses, they're all left to rot. They were big, beautiful homes. And the whole property is like that. That's, like I say, that's what, 12, 13 years ago. And if we get down here, see if I can get in where I'm inside the property. Because the place is the hospital. It's just, I don't know why these people want to tear it apart like that. Now, all and plus the in there, so everything. This is maintenance type buildings where the maintenance workers had. Um, it's such a nice place. There you go. See, they had this is a picnic area, and when you're down there, they'll come around in the morning and say, "Well, the VFW is going to be out there, and they're going to be cooking and stuff like that. Do you want to go out there and eat lunch, or you want to eat lunch here in your hospital room?" And if you sign up for out there, then they don't bring lunch. They don't bring the regular lunch to you. All kind of, I had some nice times there with people, and this is part of the view there. Let's go back. I thought I had pictures on the inside in that collection. The view. Let me go back here a second because the shots inside the VA hospital is terrible. It's terrible. I should have some page or something. Hold on. I know that's the last shot on that. That's an old movie theater from the early 1900s. So Fort Howard was originally an army base, and in 1939 it went. They gave it to the Veterans Administration. Now I'm a fellow. I got inside shots somewhere. The whole inside of the place looks like that. So let me go here. And this is going to show you your view. You can't see the Bay Bridge, but the Bay Bridge is right there. And then you look over here. This is where Bethlehem Steel used to be. There's the Key Bridge, which fell down since then. The Key Bridge is down in the ground, and it was nice to be down there. So I'm sitting in a wheelchair. You're sitting down in your hospital pajamas, and it's a really when you're recovering, and there was guys down there. It was a long-term physical rehab hospital, and it was a great place for that. And then there are people in there, they're living there till they die, and then the staff has a lot of stress. The staff went out for walks and all like that during their shift time when they had a break. It was really, really, um, and one of the main problems with it. It can only be developed to a certain point. Infantino was saying he's going to have 1,300 living units plus a couple of retail stores, and but it, it can't handle it. So this is looking at the gate for Fort Howard. So you got like about I forget what, like 4 miles of a double lane road like that. So you can only get really it was zoned for 550 units. Now it's zoned for 90 units. And I believe that could happen. And a guy named Himmelrich has the lease now. He's the third leaseholder, and he tried to get something done down there, but the VA should work with him. They should make it happen. They should just let him build it and uh, do something with it. This guy's body language. So he's sitting there, and I know there's people that read body language, especially FBI's and all like that. Now look at this guy. He's sitting there. He's got a smug look on his face, and he's pretending like he's reading. Like this is the program of this. They're going to have there's a bunch of politicians there. They're going to have there's a big celebration. And then they go out there and they do a little thing with the shovels. A bunch of people have shovels, and they do groundbreaking. And he's sitting there pretending like, hey, this is real. I'm really going to do it. Really, what he's thinking is, man, am I pulling one over on these people? files that I have on him. There's 21 gigs worth of stuff here. Now, uh, past year or so, I found out how. I realized I found out I could download web pages. So some of the web pages are downloaded. Some of them I shot video of. And I didn't even know how to do. I'm using screen capture now. I didn't even know I could do screen capture. So I'm have my camera and I'm just shooting video of the websites. So I got a lot of blog posts about it. A lot of other writings about it. Now here's Grande is one of his latest ones. I think this is off the. I think this. I don't know if all Grande's still on the internet. Um, Now you think that? See, you think I'd be worried about copyright violations here? But 90% of what Infantino has online are his copyright violations. A lot of the stuff, a lot of what's written on these things, talking about how great the properties is. He's got all these properties. He's helping with the school here. He's got an equestrian thing. He even has a whole bunch of stuff there saying he has a tennis complex in partnership with Venus and Serena Williams, the great Williams tennis, and they're investors, they're business women. They're helping people out, you know, getting their businesses started, getting their manufacturing started. They're doing a lot of good things in the world. And here, this guy is telling people that he's in partnership with them. I even have on here a copy of. So he puts all these PDF files online about it. They're like brochures. I have copies of them. You'll see them in a bit. Oh, that's just one of the ones where he says he's okay. So now these are all copyright violations. This is off his websites where come on, man, where he says he's got good business relationships with all of these banks. I don't know how much banking relationships. Now, the Grande organization, that's Infantino. Uh, Look at this. All these banks. He doesn't have good. Look at that. Look at that. Each one of these banks has a right to sue Infantino with this, and each one of these banks should say, tell the world, don't invest in Infantino's stuff. It's a lie. We're not with the guy. There's another one. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, this is his references. This is, hey, invest in me, man, because he always claims he's going to bring like 100, 150, 350 million. It depends on the project. It's always going to be over more. He's always going to bring at least $100 million financing to the project, which he can't get from any of these people. And finance partners. I mean, that's not the same. Let me see. Yep. Now he did. You know, I read one thing on him where he had. He may have been at one time back in the 1990s. Been working. He might have been doing some good work for somebody there in the investment field. So now here's his partners. None of these people were partners. They all have a right to say. They all have a right to sue Infantino to to at least tell the world, no, GE Capital is not one of his partners. And look at this. Look at this. He just goes over and gets their logos off of it. Now, the assistant to the government, to the president of Turkey, told me Infantino is a master forger, and that's what he does on a lot. Look at that. Let's jump into the. Oh, that's let me see here. Where are we at? Oh, that's just Infantino. These are just the on the latest website. these are some of his. So what he does is he have these really nice PDF files on there. Now you're supposed to download all these, so this is not a copyright violation, but he can't come after me because he can't take me to court because I'm telling the truth about everything. So I've had three different individuals contact me and thank me because they were going to invest in something with Infantino, and they saw what I had online, and it prevented them from losing their money. Now, if three told me that 300, or there's 30 people at least, who were saved from being ripped off by Infantino. And Infantino, because I was putting his name on the line, web search John Infantino, he changed up. So then it might have been Grande or the one. So then he didn't put his name at all. Then the next website, and I've got a copy of it, is JD Realty, which is John David. So at the end, when it goes contact, it just says John David, But see, when he's meeting people and talking to them, well, he just said, yeah, I'm John Infantino. So they go online and see John Infantino, and then they contacted me. So I couldn't find him. I couldn't find those websites because there's no Infantino on there. It's not written on there. But the people who saw those websites, it's happened twice, and they thanked me for not getting ripped off. They told me what the new website. They sent me a link to the new websites. And Ocean Grande Resort, the Bahamas, he's all over the place. All this stuff here, this is all ripped off stuff. This is all copyright violations he got from someplace else. All these plans, all this stuff. It's somebody else's work. So there's a Go back here. Now that was a Grande PDF. So where's my one with all PDFs? Oh, here we go. Let's use this. References. Here's another one. This is all his references. It's all live. All these people's names are being used to scam other people. Reference letter summaries. World Sports Alliance, is interested pursuing potential participation in This is all lies. Caribbean Development Partners. Look at this. Now, Federal Design Group, that's his. That was his. I've got a whole copy of those. I've got copies of those, video copies of those websites. Look at this. This is all Tennis in Paradise. Here you go. As business manager for Venus and Serena and a family member. The family member is Isha O. Anyway, he has a slip, and I've got a copy of it on here. Isha O. Price. Now, I think that's Venus and Serena's sister, and she's a lawyer, and she does some management things for her. And I can't find any direct line to get this information to Venus and Serena. I looked all over the internet. There's no here's my manager's number, da da da. But what I did was I went on there and I went to some of the places where they say, well, if you want us to help you with investment or whatever, or you have an idea, or you want to tell us about our product, this is stuff this would be Serena's. This is what Serena's doing for the world. She does good work, man. She's got good It's a shame that this is happening to her. She does a lot of people really good. Infantino has literally done millions of people harm. I mean, I'll just go through it real quick. Just if you want to, you can stop it and look at it. But I want you to be able to see the length and the breadth of what he did. I want to thank you for the professionalism and candor you provided in the negotiations, restructuring the golf club. Your assistance was critical. Da 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 da. Jeffrey Windrow. He got this off of somebody else. I look forward to our continued partnership. American Bank and Trust. It's lies, man. It's lies. Skybank, Absa Capital, Look at this. Wachovia Bank. Lehman Brothers. He may have had something to do with it. Well, I know he uses the Lehman Brothers in some of his what he says. Um, he says that anyway, then they crashed when the economy crashed 10, 15 years ago, and he uses that as a reason why he couldn't get some financing. Bancorp, Lehman Brothers. There again, da 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 da. So this is supposed to be a letter. Lehman Brothers is interested in participating with the company to provide both debt and equity financing for the Bayside and Fort Howard project. Well, I don't know if that was true or not. Maybe they were, but then they didn't. But what he's saying is Bayside and Fort Howard. That was the name of the project that he was going to do on the Fort Howard project. And Lehman Brothers, the Goldman Sachs, the enhanced use leasing opportunity at Elgin Air Force Base is an exciting one. He if this was true, then he actually contacted Goldman Sachs and says he's either getting or had uh, an EUL at Egan Air Force Base. He didn't. A.T. Edwards, Morgan Stanley. Hey, if this guy really had all this, yeah, anybody would want to invest in his work. God, it's just boom, boom. This government, Department of the Army. Oh, you did a terrific job on organizing the golf club at Rock Island. It's a friggin' lie. It never got done. And management of a difficult, I appreciate tireless self-sacrifice. You and your team have made tremendous. It's lies. General Services Ministry, Rock Island Arsenal. See, that's what really ticks me off. I tell the friggin' politicians about it. I've sent messages to Trump. I'm recently sending messages to Vice President Kamala Harris because she was a prosecutor, and I'm trying to get her attention so maybe she can do something about this. But I had contacted Trump and plenty of other officials about this. And look at this. What else we got here? Rock Island Golf Club, National Aeronautics. Come on, man. The guy's saying he's in with NASA. I mean, come on, man. You really want to let that go down? You really want to let this guy keep doing this around the world? I mean, the government of Antigua and Barbuda. Yeah, this certifies the government will grant the firm an unlimited, unrestricted license to operate a casino. Hey, man, I got $200,000 I need to invest. Yeah, I've invested in your casino. Maryland Department of Transportation. This is wrong. This is just wrong for him to be able to do this. It's on and on and on. Here we go, Steph. Okay. Some of these people I actually contacted. Now, when you contact all these older people, they websites, emails change and all like that. And nobody reads all their emails, but nobody ever gets back to me. So here's his Grande organization. I know his Infantino style. I know this is his anyway. And so here's Derek Owens. I think I did contact this guy. So now he's saying that he's in with Derek Owens, Edgar Jones, Gorlo Jones, end of staff. And the government entities, any investigator. I just wanted some investigator to start with what I had, check it out, make sure it's right, and do their own investigation and see what they can get and double check. I never expected anybody to just take my word for all this stuff. I expected it to be checked, double checked, and triple checked. This is who he's. You won't find Edgar Jones on his. Infantino never paid any payroll taxes for Edgar Jones or anything, so Jervis. It's just on and on. Look at this. All these people. It's all lies. Look at that. What are we back to Derek Owens? Well, you don't have to see all of them. Step 2, TGO senior staff. The bios. He just, man. Grande organization, senior staff bios. There's Edgar Jones again. Well, that's basically what the some of the other stuff was. So anyway, we're doubling down here. Come on. Ah, shoot. Let me get back up. Should have been. Ah, you know what I did. This is, I counted it. I think it's 200 some or something like that. This is a lot of work. If the guy would just do something legit and put this amount of effort into it, he could be something. These are all brochures and all that Now look at this. You know how tough it is in Africa. You know how bad things are there. A lot of places. With the revolutions and the rebels and the public executions and stuff like that. And he goes in there. That's Federal Group International, Federal Community Partners. That's Infantino's Federal. So he goes in there and tells them he's going to build them a nice little community. He's telling people this, that, and the other. And then, Andre goes to Janet, his neighbor, says, "Look, I got this. I've invested my money in this Federal Community Partners. You should too." They get ripped off. Janet blames Andre. She's pissed off at him. That's happened all over the world. People were angry at each other. People were blaming each other when they're not guilty. They were fooled too. So look at this. This all came from other people's websites and brochures. This is what he claims to be building for these people in Africa. And he got nothing done for them. There's more Federal Community Partners. Nigeria. Look at some of these. San Francisco. He engaged in a lawsuit out there too, where he didn't get the contract. He didn't get the lease, and sued on something. Rogers Avenue. That's here in Maryland. There's a VA. There's Fort Howard. Okay, what's this? The veterans facilities he claimed to have done. Washington, D.C. Now, here's another one. Asset manager. He's not the asset manager of this. This is a federal crime, if you ask me. I think you'd think so too, right? He's saying that with federal role, that's their federal role. That's not. Anyway, University Village is a federal place. Development profile. Armed Forces Retirement Home. He's saying he's doing stuff for retired, older veterans. And he's not. He's not. It's a lie. Now I can't take it. I can't handle that shit. He did it where it was. He did it in Ukraine. All this stuff. Villages at Beaumont. Let's see what this one was. Come on. Times as slow in my brain is these days. I'm 74 years old. Yeah, El Paso, Texas. Now okay. Use, medical research, office, retail, veterans senior housing, educational, the U.S. Army. Listen, man, this guy's claiming that he's doing good stuff for active duty Army stuff. All kind. Federal role, master developer, property manager, Fort Bliss, El Paso, Texas. It's a lie. It's a lie. And I guarantee I've contacted so many media personnel. I've contacted at least 300 or 400 people over the years about this stuff, and they just don't do anything about it. I didn't say take it all on my word. I mean, this is a basic to just. I did most of the work. Check it out, double check it, contact Fort Bliss, or have somebody go down and do an investigation. An investigative reporter could make their career on this. An investigator in the law enforcement field could make this would be a great career move for them. This could define their career if they would simply go after John David Infantino. And people would, would really appreciate it. For politicians, people would appreciate it. Any investigator, anybody who did a major newspaper article about this, uh, you know, that sets their career. That really boosts their career. So here's just one of the things I got off from the Williams. Tennis in Paradise. Ocean Grande Resort, Tobago. All right. All this stuff's supposed to be there. A restaurant, juice bar, villas, wellness spa, multi-use tennis, Paradise Academy, the Venus and Serena Williams Tennis in Paradise facility. I'll show you. I made like about a 12-minute video just of what he's got on a Venus and Serena Williams tennis ripoff live. I sent emails to sports writers and sports reporters, sports talk show people all over the United States and some in other parts of the world. Man, if you if they would be the first to go and ask the Williams, is this true? Is this really and they're the first one to tell the Williams, then it's like, hey, a report. Now the Williams sister want to get on that person's talk show, maybe. That reporter might be able to get some really nice interviews with the Williams. Like I said, they're doing a lot of business stuff themselves. That's really good. They might launch a new company, and they're so thankful that this reporter brought this information to them that the first thing they do is contact that reporter and say, "Look, we've got a special press pass for you, so you can be there for the celebration when we open this," because they do like makeup and so. Anyway, whatever uh, business that the Williams ladies are investing in and supporting, they're going to have kickoffs and all. And many a reporter would love to have a special pass to be in on that. Maybe the only one reporting about it. Look at this. The tennis club. Well, that's just a drawing. All this. This is all stuff where he's gotten really good on his websites too. I mean, this is beautiful. Look at all the work that goes into this. There, and what I've done is I web searched all that double, triple to make sure there is no Williams tennis. I check everything. I cross check with addresses, phone numbers, um, University of Helsinki. Now, I've contacted 3 embassies. I think I contacted. I know I contacted. I'm pretty sure I did the one there in Finland. Uh, Told them this is a ripoff. There's another one I did down there. Forget what. And then I went to. Then when one of a guy, he was so it was a Chinese American guy, and American Chinese guy, whatever. He was an American guy with Chinese descent. He went. He was in China at a big convention for investors, and he met Infantino. And I've got photos of Infantino had his great booth and all set up, and Infantino was a real nice guy, and he's real easy going and all like that. So he's this investor's like, well, It was this David, who's Infantino, and he sees my stuff. So then he turns, and he's sitting next to Infantino on a table, and people are all going in there. They're getting ready to all investors talking to investment people, uh, and he spent for my name, and he said Infantino just he just like fell apart, man. He was so angry. There's no way I could put all this stuff online without him figuring it out because he's got to web search his own name. And like I say, other people are going to him. So the Federal Design Group, that's him. Look at this. This is all these. They're they're all like that. We're finding the Williams. We're getting the Williams Sisters Media. I don't. I'm not sure which one I've got here. Anyway, I was going to show you the Isha O price thing. Oh, here's his Bayside of Fort Howard. Okay. Now, whoever did this brochure for him, I guarantee you he owes them money for it. A community for veterans and seniors alike, because the VA said it's going to be a veterans focused community. You know, all this stuff. The he After he lost the lease, see, he's still running this. He's putting this on his all his newer websites, saying that it is a done deal and he did real well there. He's using this as a reference. He never did anything down there, and he still use. So then uh, I've got information on here about he took deposits from veterans, like $2,000 deposits or whatever for future housing for like at least 500 and some veterans. And then he lost the lease, and he said that the way it was written up, he didn't have to pay the deposits back. The state of Maryland, the Attorney General said, yes, you do. They held a case where Infantino didn't even show up for it, and then he said, you got to pay it back. So I talked to them, several times on the phone. I emailed them, I talked to them on the phone, the Attorney General's office. And one guy said, yeah, we read some of your stuff on Infantino. I said, well, look, you told him they told him he had to take the Bayside of Fort Howard site off. It's off for about 3 months because every now and then I do complete web searches on it. I contacted the state of Maryland, and they said, "What? He's got it back on." Well, we're going to look, and if he does, he'll never build anything in Maryland again. I said he never built anything. He was never going to build anything. And like I'm saying, oh yeah, then we read some of your stuff. Well, heed what I say. I called the FBI. I contacted Interpol. I called the FBI twice. I called them, didn't hear from them for 3 months. Called them back and said, "Oh, we're not going to take that case." And let me see what else we got here. That might be Reynolds tennis overview. Uh, Durham down in. Oh man, all this stuff is. Now I have an offer that any investigator, any legitimate investigator, including any investigative writer, reporter, I will share this stuff. I will give them 21 gigs worth of stuff to work on, and then expect them to double check my stuff, prove me right or prove me wrong. It's just shit. What else? At Camp Navajo. So one more. It'll be last PDF. I'll show you. Camp Navajo Industrial Park, Belmont, Arizona. The role asset manager. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, National Guard. Estimated cost $400 million. And he just does a whole thing about it and da 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 da. Let me tell you something. I'm a writer, and this guy does. Okay, he does some stuff on some of these. He's got it written, so he just says, well, he was worked with them at this or did that. Well, sure, he worked with them, but then he lost the leases and he never got stuff done. He will word things, not that it was totally that it was done and good. And I know he's doing that so he can have less charges against him if he ever gets caught. So I was just writing about the fact that I did talk to the Army Corps engineers and did put a thing in to do the project. Federal development was selected, leased to the property to develop an industrial park. You never did. And let's see, federal intern will develop, operate, and maintain the facilities and provide in-kind consideration, money, sustainable job group. So there he's got it. He just says they intern will. So he's not saying they did. There's only a few of the projects where he says that they did, and I know it. I know it because I word stuff. I'm a wordsmith when I'm writing. I can't when I'm talking. You have to excuse it, but I just like I said, I'm old. 74 years old. I've been depression, anxiety, disability from the Veterans Administration since year like 1998 or 9, whatever it is, and 15 months ago, my handicapped scooter seat came loose, and I fell off the scooter and hit my head on a brick wall. And I'm working with that. I got to, so that's all been being taken care of. All right, so let's go. Whoops, screwed up again, did I? All right, sorry about that. Let's go back to documents again. Infantino. JD Real. Oh, yeah, what did you do? Now, this is where I finally learned how to download a website. So this is JD Realty. That's what I said. It went by John David. You see? So when you go to the back and contact, he uses John David. And again, here it is. He's I don't know how to get this. Anyway, this is all just to prove that it was there because I know some of this stuff. See there, Vietnam. Oh, what do you say? He did it in Vietnam. I got video of him in there when they were like having a big to do signing the contract for him to do some stuff in Vietnam, and they're exchanging gifts. And let's go. Here we go. Now here's where he did it in Korea. So these are somewhere like I said, I didn't know I could do a screen capture, and I didn't know about downloading websites. You could get free software to do that. So I have some of these are videos of the websites. And here's one that really fries my gizzards. He says that this is this is a video where he said he did this thing with Aberdeen. Come on, man. There we go. I mean, to tell people that it's Aberdeen, Maryland. That's up the road. I know the place well. Security training campus video. He's saying he was. So I'm showing you where. Now, he has several. There's Federal Development LLC. So he paid somebody to do this because there's an announcer's voice. They never got paid. Now, what he did when he put these on there was he put this name on there. I searched that name too. I found some people with it. But he didn't put John Infantino on there because he knows that I'm telling the world, web search John Infantino. And it looks like here I got there's others. Well, that's a training video. Okay, so here we what?
The Loderick Creek Security Training Campus Development Plan, presented by Federal Development. Spots located across the globe. the Loderick Creek Training Campus has the potential to help fill the current training void and to become one of the premier sites for first responders, security, and anti-terrorism training anywhere in the world.
All right,
The
that's it.
campus,
You got
strategically
that right.
located at the
He's telling people that he's investing my stuff because I'm I helped put this uh, training campus together, and it helps first responders. It's for people fighting terrorism. Man, that's something to invest in. That's something to back up if you got some money. You know, that's lousy. I think I called. I have their phone number. I think I called there and asked them if they wanted to, if they would do something. Federal Asset Management was one. All this stuff. This is earlier stuff that he did. You have to excuse the gas because if I had time and I mean I can only spend so much time on like my workstation chair here, but I don't have right now. I can't just shoot these, edit them down, and have a nice video. I've got to get this out there. I've waited too long. I've been trying to do this for like 20 years. Start putting this video together, and I definitely been trying to do it for several years now. You know. I usually go show what the copyright now. It's probably somewhere. Might be at the end of the thing or something. But other ones, let me see here. Is this what I think it is? How to become a Bayside resident. Okay. So that the Bahamas. He's supposed to have stuff down there. Vets USA. There's one. That's some man. That's so he's hooking his name up with veterans. He's saying like Vets USA, and he's doing stuff for veterans, and he's just using a veteran to rip people off. The guy, when I started this, somehow I just figured out this guy a lot about him, and I'm taking a chance here. This guy, like I say, probably each one of his scams gets him like hundreds of thousands of dollars, the potential, and you're traveling around the world, and he talks to
Seems
criminal
like every
people.
time I do a search for John Infantino and his federal development stuff.
Anyway, and I have to seriously be concerned about a knock on a door, and he sent either a hitman or just somebody to say, "Hey, knock it off, or you will die," or something like that. And again, I've got all this stuff on there. He doesn't take me to court. He doesn't even go face. He didn't even complain to Facebook because I post a lot of stuff on Facebook. When I gather information and put it online, because I have it organized on a blog of mine. It's called The Way That I See It Is. It was David Robert. The address is davidrobertcruz.blogspot.com. And if you web search my screen name, Ursus Dave, then you go to the website says That's the Way I See It Is. And you go there, and then in that search box, you put Infantino, and you find the stuff I got on him. So.
It's better or anything. It's a lot of excess property. So they want to make public partner. It never happened.
Yeah, that's the Baltimore thing. It never happened.
They're trying to convince.
Fort Monmouth. Now, I have actually a letter written about that. Here again. Now, I was trained as a photographer at Fort Monmouth in 1970. So that place is something special to me. Now, they closed the fort down, and then supposedly Infantino was going to go in there and build it up for civilian uses. So it looks like they made it Monmouth Point would be the name of the project. Here we go again. Department of the Army entity, what the uses are for, $300 million. Infantino's claiming he could get the financing for $300 million to develop the old Fort Monmouth
The
property.
government,
That's a
the
federal
army, that
crime,
he
man.
could,
Contact us.
as I say,
So that's how all you and what we got here. Okay. Now I read about this guy. His nephew, Stephen Infantino, was in on some of his stuff, and people that interns at work there had left stuff online saying comments uh, that you know he just does a bunch of rip off stuff for Infantino, and so this says, and this right here, you know, Federal Group International, and he did this, managed teams, they were awarded projects, managed pre-development, market analysis, managed projects undertaken with the U.S. Department of Defense, Army Corps of Engineers, General Services, Army Reserve. He's, all this stuff. He's claiming, now that's just his nephew claiming he did this. It's lies. What's the other one here? Miramar Creek, East West. That's another complete different website, but it's basically, it's all investment scams. Come on. Originally, I was going to try to have all these up and just have it all ready to hit the window, but in the condition I'm in, I just can't get that part done here. So many millions of people. He even claimed, Infantino claimed he was going to take the original, the first Olympic compound in China. He was going to develop that for the community. That's the kind of stuff he does. And now this is all Infantino's. Look, this is just all. Yeah, it's all stuff he ripped off. He just went to another website and copied all this stuff and put it there. And here's, like I say, where's that? Well, a lot of them I go all the way to the bottom, and uh, I show what the copyright is. Ha ha ha! Hoo, hoo, hoo. All right, here we go. Infantino's smart. Originally, he only had one video of himself online, Federal Bulgaria. I have a copy of that on here, and I'll show you that in a bit. But now he has this video here of being in Vietnam and the signing ceremony. He's going to start the project. And he's got the political leaders, he's got the business leaders, he's got the media. They're all in this room. See, and that's the JD Realty, John David. All right. So see, I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to verify things, right? Investigator people can see what I'm doing. Date. So it's verified. So I just to help people, to help investigators realize, yeah, this is legit. right there. Like, look, that guy's just, it's written all over him. I mean, if you know, he look like he's almost like scared. He's like, look. He's like, oh God, I can't believe I'm doing this. And he knows these people can put him in a damn cell. He does it in China where they could take and publicly execute him. He did it in Africa where they could take him out and shoot him. The one place he did it in Africa, uh, I went on their Facebook page, right? I went on on the Facebook page for that place in Africa. And I said, yeah, John, Infantino ripped you off, right? I go back next day to see if anybody responded. Well, when I went on there, it said they had a post on the Facebook page saying, you'll hear some weapons firing around the perimeter of the town, but we just about got them rebels under control. So then 2 or 3 days later, I checked back, and the first video, the first on the African town's web Facebook, there's this army general or colonel or whatever sitting there. He goes, I had to shoot the governor. He was a bad man. You know, if they knew what Infantino does, they'd take him out and shoot him. Look at here, he is shaking the hands with this guy. I don't know how far up, but he's a major. Look at this is big power and money in Vietnam. Look, that stupid look on his face. This is really only the second video he ever allowed him to be seen in, and this is a newer one. He knows what he's doing, man. He's very sharp. Come on, federal. Where did the? Oh, it's down here. Oh man, I just seen it earlier. The one that's got the him in Bulgaria. Here it is. I should have named it different, but I recognize the beginning of it. This is in Bulgaria. This was done in what looked like it's 2008. We'll see in a minute. It had the post on there. So it's a radio show, and he's got a female interviewer, and she interviews Infantino, and on camera. So it's going out live over the radio, but they also interviewed it. And I'm telling you, I understand a little bit about body language, and this guy.
Господин Джон Инфантино, главен изпълнителен директор на Federal Development. Добър ден, господин Инфантино. Бихте ли ни казали малко повече за компанията и за вашите проекти в България?
Look at him sitting there with his arms crossed like that. Man, this guy's that's like a protective thing. I mean, a police, anybody who knows body language can look at that and say, this guy's up to something, man.
Federal Development е международна компания, която развива проекти в областта на недвижимите имоти. Работим по различни проекти, като се фокусираме най-вече в така наречените публично-частни партньорства. Имаме над 20 съвместни проекта с различни общини, градове, региони, както и федерални или чуждестранни правителства.
Now, I made a video. Now, these are just different versions of it because they're just different, like 540. It's for different, like Facebook, YouTube, or whatever, and then a full. Anyways, it's just different software. These are all the same video, just different formats, is what I should say. And I just showed all the evidence I have on here, all that he has on there about the Williams sister. And I'm kicking myself because I didn't have all this stuff set up beforehand. But I tried, but everything got so confusing. I had to go for it. I don't have any more time to wait. People got to get this out. Okay, JD Realty. So I'll show you.
Okay. JD Reality. That stands for John David. This is the work of John David Infantino.
That's my voiceover, Rod.
It's all a complete scam. of work went into this website.
But the first one was, like I said, you see up the top was a
And he
William
just put it
Sisters.
online last year. This is the last website. I've seen all his stuff. It's all scams. So now he's using the Williams sisters name in this one. He's really using it to promote himself, saying
Here
he's
we go.
got
Oh,
this
I'm sorry.
great
I thought I was on the
relationship,
website again.
business relationship with the Williams sisters,
Look at this.
and
These are all
he wants people to
PDF
invest
brochures he
in
has about
this.
it. I
I
have
mean,
copies
this
of
is a
every
lot of
single one of
stuff
these
he puts up
brochures.
online to
It's
just convince people.
all lies. Come on. Whoops. See if there's anything else important here. Grande property information download. So I've got copies of his lease, um, all kind of stuff. This that's a historic register. But the fort is on a historic register, and there's a copy of the court records. Ah, here's one. Here's one I don't want to miss out on. This is really bad. Jeez. He's got an immigration investment scam. He's trying to tell people overseas, if you invest in his properties, the Grande properties, that'll help. And that property is in another country. It's in the Bahamas or it's in the United States or something. If you invest in it for a certain amount of time, put some money in, then you can go there. You can emigrate there easier than if you hadn't invested. You get first choice and invest now. Watch this. This is still up because I picked it up yesterday. All these people coming over the south border, all these illegal people, they got. Some are just coming here from work for work. Some of them are okay, but there's a lot in the fair. There's a lot of bad people coming in our country illegally. Now he's telling good people who will invest in. He's telling good people he's going to help them legally come into the United States or other places, immigrate. This is all bullshit here. Now, watch this one. I check this out. Now, follow us on Facebook. Watch. Now, Hat just goes back to that. He plays with the links. He does all kind of stuff. And then these, all right, that'll get you to that'll bring your email up. You send an email, you probably won't get anything. So he's got Europe, Americas, Middle East, India, and China. He's claiming he's got offices there that will help people who invest in his stuff. They will help people get to whatever I'm on about is wherever they want to go. If it's possible, he can help them get there. Oops. What do I do here? So sorry about the. Here's another one. The partners. Let me see if I can get this to stop. Now that's slowing it down. This is all about solid. Infantino, and he's arrested and all that. Then I'll do like a documentary film where everything, right, do retakes and edit stuff together and not be jumping all around in my head like I'm doing right now. Programs. There you go. Citizenship by investment. Economic visa. Investment visa. He's visa. See? Get this bugger. Our programs. golden visa, investment visa, citizenship. He's saying, he's telling those people, this is what he's got out there. You invest in his stuff, and this is what he's got out there. That's just a taste of what I got. Investing, well, yeah, man. What do I do? All kind of stuff. Luxury this, luxury that. And this is from copyright 2023. This is one of those last things on there. None of the, media. Oh, let's see what he said. It probably says coming or something like that. I'll do like a, yeah, coming soon. And he always does it. Saying all these. Where you want to go, man? Bulgaria? You want to move to Ireland, or you want to move from Ireland? He's got you covered. All right, let's see if there's anything else. And I just remember something I wanted to say, but it went out my head again. And roles for completed projects. So here he does claim to. So now these leases are, a lot of these links are expired. They're not there anymore. But by putting them on there, see, I can't make that. I can't make this up. I'm not. Uh, uh, to to establish that it was truly there, and then you've got the Wayback Machine and other ways online where you can find stuff that was online. See, because when you go here now, this stuff, Grande property, this might be, a lot of these links are no good anymore. He knows he's hot. The electric bill, that was EO's. Yeah. Now, there's a few articles that I copied, and so what I did was, when I copied it, when I go there and I find these Baltimore Sun articles, I probably read that when it first came out. I'll go there and I'll leave a comment saying, uh, to Joe, I'll say, yeah, man, this is all lies. The guy lied to you. You know, nothing's ever done about it. I mean, I've contacted the Sun paper, just told them, you know, and so I try to have the date on there, have the name of the author, whoever wrote the article. I have a link to where the article was and where it was published. Now, this is the article. So, uh, it's copyright 2021, so I can put that there. But, I'm always concerned, is it going to get me, it's a copyright violation? But it's evidence gathering. I'm evidence gathering. And what I'm doing with it, I'm not making money off it. I'm trying to save people from losing money. There was some other important things I thought about. I'll have to do another little video, and I can tackle into that. But that's enough for now. I'm sorry that you probably might have had some trouble following it. Uh, this is about getting important information out there. I should have done this years ago, and I should have done it bit by bit and then pieced the video together. But that's what depression and it does to people. You just can't get things done. And I've been treated for it I've had it since I was in the Army on Okinawa, 1970. And all through the 70s since then, I've been treated for it. I've been on disability for it. Now, I mean, if I had the money, the wherewithal, uh, see, I've got, where's the thing? Let me show you this reel. This is important too. I've got a whole bunch of addresses on him. I've actually, from all the stuff I got, right? I put it together and put stuff, he's got online. And so this is to help investigators. They don't have to do the work. Now, Lake Lure, North Carolina, that's Infantino home. There's been members that are founding. Now, his parents were real estate people, and I think they were, from what I read, they were good people. They were good people. And now he's got like two sisters and a brother. So here's people that were on it. So that's his sister. This is his brother. That's probably another brother. Uh, I've got their stuff. Oh, and here's what I wanted to say. Now here's where I sent to. I saw that's in Florida. John Infantino is he's skipped out on being served papers for a long time. He has a daughter, and she must be like 25, 30 years old by now. But when she was till she was 18, see, he has never met her. This is what kind of person we're dealing with, okay? And back then, he was supposed to be this real estate developer, telling people he's making all this money. And he got the court to say, okay, $350 a month is your child support. Well, I ended up with the assistant to the Turkish president, gave me information about the woman who had the baby, and I made a little contact with her. I promised her that I would keep her name out of it. They suffered so much from him already through the years. They don't want to have to come out and testify. We don't need them to testify anything, except he's a rotten guy and he goes over $70,000 in back child support. I called the state of Florida twice. Their child support, the hotline or whatever, and they're like, "What's your social security number?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm not the one. I'm not calling to see what they got on me. I'm calling about this guy John Infantino. I just want to know." I don't want to know who the name of the daughter is. I don't want to know who the mother is. I just want to know one thing. Is there like a warrant? Is there a thing you want John Infantino? I was trying to guarantee what the ex-girlfriend said. I want to know, do you have a thing on him as a deadbeat? If now I just went back and reread some of my stuff, and she had emailed me in there that she said he owed over 70 grand, and he hadn't managed to avoid being served papers on it, because that is the way that if I could get him arrested for that, then get him in jail somewhere, and then tell people this is also what the guy's doing. Now I called back the second time. I said, the state of Florida, they wouldn't give me the information. Just tell me, man. Does he have a warrant for being a deadbeat dad? Is he listed as a deadbeat dad? And then I may have sent it to. This is the town, I guess, where it was. It was Osceola Gazette, and deadbeat dad. It was $350 a month, but I get and then I put links to my stuff, and other a bunch of information. I mean, I've got all kind of information on this guy. I got the phone numbers. I got all kind of stuff. Any investigator, any law enforcement, any media, anybody who wants to write a book on him. I'm a writer. I'm not the type of writer that can write a book about this, and I don't have enough time left to do it anyway. I'm 74, and I'm in bad health. Pain all the time, and now I got this damn head injury, and this is there for them. And also, I hope people because I kept telling people about this, and there's people that didn't want anything to do with me anymore, like on Facebook and all, because I was trying to get people to see what this guy was doing, especially in my own area in Fort Howard, because he really made a mess of the community, Fort Howard down there. He made a mess of a lot of communities, because most of them where he was going to start, he said he was going to start a project. Most of those, no other person came by and tried to do it. Again, web search his name and see what you can find. Oh, he was sued by Delray Oaks. This is another. All right. So I got a copy of that. Now, usually I probably down the end here. I normally put a link to right where I found it or something. But I can't write this stuff. I don't know legalese. Anyway, so he screws up. He's not getting things done there. And Juror Associates, I think that was his lawyer. And so they're sued him, and also all his stuff is registered in Delaware. He's got his companies are always registered in Delaware, and I don't know the exact tax break or whatever it is, but whatever it is, Delaware makes it so you might want to register your company there because it'll do you good, you know. All right, let me see here. Make sure nothing definite. Da, 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 da. Oh, yeah, I had this set out. Finally, uh, and I sent a copy of. Yeah. So this is. So either. Here you go. Let me get this down here. Tennis in Paradise. Right now, what this is he either actually had been in negotiations with the Williams, the wonderful Williams people, the people who are they're taking people who are broken, have great ideas, and have good desire to work and to build something. They're self-starters, and they've got you. You tell Serena that she's got a place where you can tell about it, and her team will look at it, and if they believe in you, they will help you realize your goals. I mean, they're good. They're good people, and great sports people. So Isha O. Price is that's the married name of their one sister, I do believe it is, and I looked for her. I searched Isha O. Price. I tried to find her office. I tried to find management offices for the Williams sisters. I couldn't find it. You can't get to it online. And so hence then like I say, I started contacting all these sports reporters. I've literally a couple hundred emails and online messages where you just fill out the message on the website. Well, I contacted all kind of media about it, and it's a great story for them. They could do a lot with it, and they could help people a lot. There's so much suffering because there's so many people who they're going to they believe the project was going to be built. They set up a business like a convenience store or a little restaurant near it. They could have gone someplace else, but now Infantino has convinced them, no, do it right next to where he's going to build something, and they think they're going to make money there. And they put it in there. The place never gets built, and their business goes out of business. I was contacted by an African fellow. He was on a business trip in Canada, and he asked me if I could tell him where Infantino was because Infantino owes him $10,000 for a warehouse. And I knew he did shit like that. He goes and says, "Oh, hey, everybody, I run this warehouse," and then he goes and he talks to the lumber supplier. "Oh yeah, man." He either asked them, he might even ask them for a loan, but he convinces them, "Oh yeah, I'm going to buy $2 million worth of lumber." And he goes to the cement guy. "Hey man, sign a contract with me. I'm going to buy $1.5 million worth of cement off of you for this project." And all these people are, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then people are lending him money. People are doing this. People are investing in it. And he takes off. He doesn't pay legal bills. And uh, one more thing this is a big one. I almost forgot it. Darn it. Here is where, when I first started, all right, investigating him and why other people who were involved in Infantino project, why the politicians, you know, I mean, Infantino said in the Fort Howard situation, my local situation, he said that he did not have to build by that's in the newspapers and all. And I said, well, it fell through because he believed he didn't believe he had to file county code. Then that the court report I showed you. If you go to that, you can actually read in there where they say, yes, you do have to go by county code and everything. So the guy who was anyway, the local politician, I contacted him and said, I sent them a link to it. Said, look, this proves that, you were right what you did was right. Infantino was doing you wrong. And all these people are saying, oh, well, Infantino bribes people. He does this. He doesn't hardly bribe people. He has made some uh, political contributions. So these people work with it. Now, I'm going to go through everything here, but you can go there and see this. So he did it 2010. And now this goes through all kind of stuff about him. And, there's a Derek, I don't know if that's still there. Who is John Infantino? Da-da-da. And then he also has, there's Del Oaks, so this is where, Infantino said, I got to get you didn't allow me enough water. The water company, you didn't allow me enough. You didn't give me enough I couldn't get enough. I wouldn't be able to get enough water to do the project, and that's bull crap. So he said, well, they wouldn't let me bring in the needed supply of water to do it, and then to have it there, have a development, and it's lies. And then he sues it. Okay, two more things. Where's the list? I have a list of. And this is on there. If he enrolls for completed projects, I got a whole list of all the damned. Let me look at it. I really don't want to. How did I do with that? I got a list of all of the places where he says he had projects. That's just his roles, addresses. Man. Let me pause for a second. Like I say, you web search my screen name, Ursus Dave, and this will pop up among other things, including my Flickr account. This has links over here to all kind of my stuff here. YouTube, I have like 13,000 photos online. There's other websites and stuff I had stuff on. One of the last things I put on this was me and my buddies on Okinawa. What you do is you go here, you hit the search box, you go for Infantino. Now, this is an older one. This is 2014. That might be the first. I probably started this blog in 2014 and Master Worldwide Scams. So these are all good links there. But what you have to do here, what you want to do is sort by date. You hit sort by date. Come on, sort it by date, damn it. Sort by date. Boom, boom, boom. That's the thing where I explain. Come on. Then it's against him, and I'm looking for the one where it's got the list of all of the. So that's where I was just trying to show people evidence, but I finally realized you can't make head or tails of that. I mean, look, he's got, but what really is there? I thought that was enough that would get people interested in it, investigators and all. And the next one might be okay. I got a list here. This is a list of where he ran. This is a list off of his website. Okay, this is his list, which I put online a year and a month ago, hoping somebody. Look at this: National Guard, Chad. That's Africa. Chinese Sports Industry Group, Baltimore. All this. If he did anything there at all, he really messed people over. Some of these, I couldn't check every single one of them. Some of these might be, he makes up stuff. He makes up stuff that was never real. But I go there, and I go to these places, and I web searched. I kept trying to find articles saying the project was finished. Uh, somebody might put something on there. Oh, it's so beautiful. I moved here where these new homes are, and they did such a wonderful job, and all this stuff. Nothing's there. All you see is stuff saying he's going to do something. Look at all this stuff. This is terrible, man. He's saying this is all supposed to be good references for him. Florida Army National Guard. Come on, man. Is that a federal crime or not? Let's say that. He said he was in one of the ones, he says he was like a property manager, asset manager for the Philadelphia VA hospital, which I actually had my back operated there in 1980. They had a back operation there in 1980. So that's something special to me, too. So I'm really pissed off about that. I contacted Philadelphia newspapers and like I did with them all, and TV stations, So I get a message back from one reporter from the Philadelphia Inquirer, I think it is, whatever it is, and he wanted to know a little more. All he had to do was I gave him a link to where he goes online and sees it as plain as day. Then you call then all he had to do was call the VA hospital or go there and say, is John Infantino, do you even have an asset manager or property manager? Is their name John David Infantino? That's all they had to do. Then he had the article to write. That's all he had to do. But I never heard from him again. I doubt that he ever put a article. Look at this. Oh man, I'm telling you, man. In China, I've seen stories online. People in China, people that screw people over investment wise because they're not total communists now, and they got a little bit of capitalism. They tie their hands behind their back, and they put this board with this writing on it that says whatever they are, they're a con man or whatever. And they ride them around the center of town a little bit on the back of a truck with some soldiers or policemen. Then they take them into the local stadium and shoot them, publicly shoot them. And that's who he was messing with there. Look at this. Like this. I contacted all these places. I contacted media there. I contacted political people there. Didn't hear anything. Look at all this. This is all lies. This is all lies. I don't know how people can stand it when I tell them about it. Oh, here we go. I think this page, no, it's not up. See, he's got a lot of stuff isn't up anymore. But I have the links on there, so because I know that they can be found. They're still somewhere on the internet, and they can be found. And lines of businesses. Oh, and another one. He's got I'm not equestrian center. So these are all supposed to be lines of businesses that he's connected with. Property and asset management, all this stuff. Well, that's about all we can handle for now. It's all the truth. Bringing him to justice and to have it publicly known around the world will solve millions of people's problems they have with being angry at their government. They're being angry with their business partner because their business partner said, yeah, let's build our student block away down here from where this new community is going to be built by John Infantino. While they're working on it, the workmen will be buying stuff from us, and then we'll have a whole community there. And people made all these decisions. And now they're blaming each other. Anyway, I have a list of. See if I can see what. I don't know what are political donations. I've got it here somewhere. Let me hit this one last thing I should put because he doesn't really do a lot of donating. Now he could bribe people. And of course, places like Bulgaria and China, A lot of those places that works on bribes, but that's usually like bribes to get your building permits and stuff. He never goes for building permits. All right, so this is Elcor. He had something. Elcor was him. That's his, and then contributions from. He's the only employee of federal development. So he did it. He's connected to a few political contributions, but nothing great, you know. So hey, thanks for listening, and I really hope. Uh, and I want investigators around the world, and all those places you saw that list. I've been trying to get the media to write about this, and we've got to get some police on this. Like I say, I contacted Interpol, I contacted the FBI, I contacted okay the IRS. They wanted to know exactly how much money was cheated out of. I just said, well, the guy didn't pay taxes. And then I contacted the what do you call it, the postmaster general or whatever, because Infantino had this. Here's what he did the one time. I'm not going to find the thing, but he had in a Fort Howard thing, in the Bayside of Fort Howard, he had a form there that you could fill out for people who wanted to just trade everything they had, just like nursing homes. A person goes in a nursing home, the nursing home takes their house and all their property and sells it to pay for them being in a nursing home. He had a piece of paper to see if people wanted to do that, and then instead of paying rent and everything, they could do that, something like that, and then they wouldn't have to, for the rest of their life, they could live on Fort Howard without worrying about anything. He was going to take everything they owned. I know of two people who sold their homes, two retired people, veterans, who sold their homes believing they were going to move down into Fort Howard. One guy, last I heard, him and his wife were living in his son's garage, and the other one, they moved into just a small apartment up the road from Fort Howard. This has going on every place he scammed. That kind of stuff is going on. People planning to move there. It's just rotten. I hope somebody, like I don't know whether I should. I mean, I didn't cause the head injury. I didn't, but I apologize for. I got the disabilities. I can't get things out straight. Uh, but that's a condition I'm in, and I'm certainly dealing with this. You can understand how frustrated I've been because of all the contacts I've made. Um, Anyone who can actually investigate this is welcome to a copy of 21 gigs of evidence that took me like hundreds and hundreds of hours to gather. And I was learning as I went along, and I would try different search terms. You know, one time I had a whole bunch of stuff, and I said, "Well, let's go by the year." I put Infantino in different years, and that's when I found the first time I found out he was in China. He had been in China, saying he was going to rehab their original Olympic complex, so it could be a sports center for the Chinese people to enjoy. And of course, he never did it. You know. All right. If you stuck around this long, I thank you for it.